Welcome to the Deep Dive, your go-to source for cutting through the noise and getting to the essential insights you need fast. Today, we're diving into a topic that's not just moving at light speed, but really reshaping the very DNA of business. AI adoption. It feels like every single day there's a new AI tool, right? A new capability drops, ChatGPT for writing, maybe an AI assistant for scheduling, advanced analytics for sales. I mean, the list just goes on. But here's the critical challenge that, well, a lot of organizations are facing right now. These powerful tools, they're often adopted in isolation, sort of piecemeal, without a cohesive guiding strategy. So think about this for a second. Is your organization truly maximizing AI's revolutionary potential, or are you perhaps just, reacting to the latest trend, hoping for the best?
That's a really, really crucial distinction you're making there. You hit on it perfectly. While the excitement around AI is absolutely justified, I mean, the possibilities are genuinely vast. Simply plugging and playing these powerful tools, department by department, can ironically lead to this frustrating paradox. Instead of efficiency, you get these fragmented efforts. Instead of real innovation, you risk missed opportunities. And maybe most surprisingly to some, instead of streamlined operations, you can actually introduce significant unexpected risks. Just imagine a company where, say, the marketing team invests in a fantastic generative AI tool for content, but they're completely unaware that the sales team just licensed a different, incompatible one for their outreach. You end up with duplicated costs, wasted effort.
Right, total inefficiency.
Exactly. Or even worse, think about a major compliance breach because different teams used customer data inconsistently with whatever AI tool they picked up. That's the real hidden cost of just ad hoc adoption. And that's precisely why this core concept we're digging into today is, well, it's basically non-negotiable. The critical need for a structured AI governance team, or as some call it, a cross-department AI council.
Okay, so it's really about moving beyond just using AI towards using AI strategically and safely. So our mission today is to give you, our listener, a shortcut to understanding why forming an AI governance team isn't just like a nice to have, it's absolutely foundational for thriving in this new landscape. We're going to unpack who should be involved, how to structure this governance effectively, and crucially, how to implement it in a way that doesn't slow down innovation. That's the big fear, right? But actually accelerates it responsibly. We'll try to simplify what might seem like a complex, maybe even a bit daunting topic into clear, actionable insights for you so you can walk away well-informed and ready to make an impact. Okay, let's start with the big why then. You've touched on some of the general risks of that ad hoc approach, but let's dig a bit deeper. Why is it so profoundly crucial to have a centralized AI council, especially when individual departments are often really eager, to explore and adopt new tools independently? What are the truly concrete dangers of letting everyone just do their own thing?
Yeah, it's really tempting for departments to just grab the shiny new tool and run with it, thinking they're being agile. That's the appeal. But what's fascinating here and what the research shows is that without that shared oversight, organizations almost invariably face significant, often hidden downsides. We're talking about a landscape cluttered with fragmented pilots, inconsistent data practices, which can have serious repercussions, and what ends up being a very reactive sort of firefighting approach to compliance issues instead of a proactive one. The pitfalls are incredibly specific and, frankly, they can be quite impactful. For instance, without a central body, you might find different teams within the same company approving duplicative or even incompatible tools. Think wasted spend, integration nightmares.
Oh, yeah, been there.
Right. And perhaps more alarmingly, you could easily misclassify data usage or fail to get proper consent for how you're using data in an AI model. This could inadvertently violate critical compliance regulations like GDPR or CCPA. The legal ramifications there can be severe. Then there's the challenge of developing AI content workflows, say, for marketing or customer service without any real quality control in place. That could potentially damage your brand reputation or even spread misinformation.
Which is terrifying.
It is. And finally, and this is a big one often overlooked, you'll frequently miss huge opportunities to scale successful pilots. Pilots that could have benefited the entire organization simply because nobody else knew they existed or, how to leverage them effectively.
Got it. So it's less about putting the brakes on progress, like you said, and much more about making sure that progress is aligned, truly valuable, and importantly, scalable across the entire organization. Beyond just avoiding those painful pitfalls, what are the actual positive outcomes we can expect when AI governance is structured correctly? How does it actively enable value creation?
Precisely. When AI governance is structured thoughtfully, it's absolutely not a bottleneck. Not at all. In fact, it becomes an accelerator. One of the primary benefits is that it actively encourages cross-team collaboration. Instead of silos, you start seeing different departments sharing insights, sharing tools, sharing best practices, which is just essential for innovation today. It also clarifies roles and responsibilities right from the outset. That removes a lot of internal friction and confusion about who's accountable for what specific part of an AI initiative. And critically, it enables ethical and compliant decision-making right from the start. It embeds these principles into the design of AI solutions rather than trying to bolt them on as an afterthought, which rarely works well. Ultimately, a strong governance framework translates your strategic vision for AI into actual, well-executed plans. It ensures that every AI initiative genuinely contributes to your business goals. In the end, what you're really doing is protecting your people, streamlining your internal processes, and safeguarding your brand integrity. Those are immense benefits that definitely outweigh the initial effort involved.
You've outlined the strategic necessity so clearly. And you're right, tackling these complex operational, ethical, and frankly cultural transformations that AI brings to an organization, it just isn't a one-person job. To truly succeed, you absolutely need diverse expertise at the table. So let's get practical. Who are the absolutely essential players? Who needs to be part of this core AI governance team?
No, it absolutely isn't a solo mission. You're spot on. In fact, trying to tackle AI governance with just one or two roles is really a recipe for major oversight. The most effective AI governance teams, the ones that really work, draw expertise from across the entire organization. They make sure every angle from legal to technical to operational is covered. So first, you absolutely need a powerful executive sponsor. This individual isn't just a figurehead. They provide that high-level accountability and strategic direction. They're the ones linking AI initiatives directly to the company's broader transformation or growth agenda. Think of them as the champion who secures the budget, clears roadblocks, and has the final say on major policy decisions. They ensure AI gets the executive buy-in it needs.
Crucial for getting anything done, really.
Totally. Next, a legal and compliance lead is simply non-negotiable. With the ever-evolving regulatory landscape around data and AI, this person is crucial. They review everything from data consent and privacy regulations like GDPR to intellectual property risks associated with AI models. They define the essential guardrails for AI usage. This is especially critical when dealing with generative AI content, making sure you don't inadvertently create legal liabilities. They'll also guide all the contract reviews for any AI vendors you might engage.
Okay, makes sense. Keeps you out of trouble.
Exactly. Then there's the IT lead. Their role is absolutely foundational. They ensure that any AI tools or platforms align seamlessly with your existing infrastructure, your security protocols, and your performance standards. They're also instrumental in developing those long-term IT AI adoption roadmaps, ensuring scalability. And they're the crucial bridge for integrating new AI solutions with your existing data systems and APIs. They protect the digital backbone of your organization.
The technical bedrock.
Precisely. You also mean marketing and business unit leaders. These individuals are vital because they bring the real-world use cases and, importantly, the customer insights from their specific departments. They help shape the goals of AI pilots, establish feedback loops, and contribute to operational readiness. They're also key in standardizing internal communications and change management around AI initiatives, ensuring adoption actually happens smoothly on the ground.
Bringing the business perspective.
Yes. Then the data governance and analytics lead. This role is all about maintaining consistency in how data is classified, accessed, and its quality across the entire enterprise. They align AI projects with your broader enterprise data policies and are absolutely critical for ensuring the accuracy and integrity of the data inputs that power your AI decision-making models. You know, garbage in, garbage out.
Right. That old adage still holds.
Very much so. An AM specialist or technical advisor is naturally critical. They evaluate the technical feasibility of various use cases. They help score and prioritize vendors, or evaluate whether it's better to build an AI solution in-house versus buying one off the shelf. They are also responsible for monitoring model performance, identifying issues like model drift, where AI accuracy degrades over time, and mitigating potential bias risks.
The deep tech expertise.
Exactly. And finally, don't forget a change management lead. This role is essential to ensure that new AI policies and tools are not just rolled out, but truly understood and successfully adopted across the organization. They oversee training programs, onboarding processes, and all internal messaging related to AI initiatives. They really bridge that gap between strategy and everyday practice.
Wow, that's a truly comprehensive lineup. It covers so many crucial angles. And I think it's important to reassure our listener, like you hinted, that while this is a diverse group, the goal isn't to create endless meetings or some new layer of bureaucracy, right? It's more about ensuring there are shared goals,
clear decision rights established up front, and efficient real-time communication channels that make the most of this collective expertise without slowing things down. Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting for many organizations, I think. The common fear when you talk about governance is almost always that it will translate directly into bureaucracy, slowing everything down to a frustrating crawl. But our source material and what you're saying suggests the exact opposite. That done well, it actually enables faster, more thoughtful decision-making and sustainable, scalable growth. So how do you actually structure this? How do you do it without sacrificing that vital speed and agility? What are the practical steps?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's a completely valid concern. Nobody wants unnecessary red tape. The key is to implement flexible and forward-looking governance, not some rigid, static rulebook that never changes. We've identified 4 key strategies for this based on what works. First, you need to create an AI use case evaluation framework. This isn't about saying no to innovation, not at all. It's about creating a transparent intake and scoring process for all potential AI projects. Think of it like a smart filter. Projects get evaluated based on clear, agreed-upon criteria, their strategic value to the business, the availability and quality of the necessary data, the technical complexity involved, also potential privacy, risk, or compliance sensitivity, and finally, the resource needs and cost involved. This framework helps the council quickly prioritize high-impact, low-risk projects and, just as importantly, easily deprioritize those that are too risky, too costly, or simply not aligned with strategy, all without creating unnecessary bottlenecks. It really streamlines that gonna-go decision.
So it provides clarity and speeds things up by focusing effort.
Exactly. Second, you need to build policy that evolves with maturity. Don't try to write the definitive giant AI rulebook on day one. That's a recipe for paralysis. Instead, begin with lightweight, practical policies that address the most immediate and impactful core issues first. This means clear guidelines on approved data sources and access protocols for AI tools, maybe a defined list of approved tools and their associated risk categories. Clear content review processes for generative AI output, detailing who needs to approve what, and simple disclosure guidelines for any external use of AI-generated content. The crucial part here is to treat these policies as living documents. You absolutely have to review and refine them, say, quarterly, as your organization's AI capabilities mature, and of course, as the technology itself evolves so rapidly.
Adaptability is key then.
Absolutely. Third, maintain a central registry of pilots and tools. This sounds deceptively simple, maybe even basic, but its value is immense. Just imagine knowing exactly what AI experiments are happening across your entire company at any given time. This means tracking all ongoing pilots, the vendors you're working with, their outcome successes and failures, and who owns them, all in one central accessible location, maybe a simple database or shared doc. This level of transparency dramatically reduces duplication of effort because teams can easily see what others are already doing or have tried. It also speeds up cross-team collaboration by making it easy to identify successful solutions that can be shared or scaled across different departments. No more reinventing the wheel constantly.
Yeah, breaking down those silos.
Precisely. And fourth, and this is critical for long-term success, you absolutely must capture and scale institutional knowledge. This means systematically documenting things that might seem small but are hugely impactful in practice. Effective AI prompts that yield great results for specific tasks, successful workflows that solve a particular business problem, performance benchmarks for different AI models you're using, and the specific business outcomes achieved linking the AI work back to real value. By doing this consistently, you turn insights from individual pilots into powerful, scalable onboarding and training resources for the entire organization. This is how you build an AI-literate workforce and ensure collective learning, rather than just fragmented trial and error.
I see. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So by setting up these smart systems and guardrails, you're not just preventing problems like compliance breaches or wasted money. You're actually building a foundation that allows for faster, more confident innovation. It's about channeling that energy effectively, not stifling it with endless red tape. That's a really crucial distinction. So connecting back to the who, what does all this mean for one of the key players we mentioned earlier, IT. Often, AI enters a business through these easy-to-access SaaS platforms, right? But its implications can reach deep across the entire tech stack, from data storage to network security. Why is IT's partnership so profoundly critical in this whole AI governance picture?
Oh, IT's role is absolutely pivotal. And honestly, its importance is often underestimated, especially in the early stages of AI adoption when everyone's just excited about the features. They are essentially the gatekeepers and the architects of your entire digital environment. IT is on the front lines. They're ensuring that any AI vendors you bring in are thoroughly vetted, not just for their cool features, but crucially for their security posture, their ability to scale, and their reliability, their uptime. They are the ones making sure that all the APIs, the data flows, the integrations between new AI tools and your existing systems are actually reliable, compliant, and crucially won't introduce new vulnerabilities into your network. Beyond that initial vetting, IT monitors overall AI usage for anomalies, things like unexpected data egress, which could be a leak, or sudden spikes in resource consumption that might indicate a problem or inefficiency. And perhaps most importantly, strategically, they align new AI tools with your long-term infrastructure plans. This ensures you're building a sustainable, integrated system, not just a patchwork of disparate applications that becomes unmanageable later. So embedding IT deeply into AI governance isn't just about risk mitigation, though that's huge. It's what truly enables your organization to scale AI adoption responsibly, efficiently, and securely. Without IT involved early and often, your AI efforts are, frankly, built on sand.
Right, a shaky foundation at best.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the journey, it becomes really clear this isn't a one-time setup, something you just check off the list and you're done. An effective AI council should evolve dynamically. It needs to move from just reactive oversight, putting out fires, to becoming a proactive strategic leader in your organization's overall AI journey. So what does building that AI maturity actually look like over time? How does an organization progress along this path?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's definitely a clear and intentional progression, moving your organization beyond simply experimenting with AI in pockets. You can think of it in stages, perhaps. Initially, like we discussed, you might have these disconnected ad hoc pilots happening in different corners of the company, totally fragmented. Building maturity means shifting from that fragmented approach to having a formal, strategic roadmap for AI adoption across the entire company. Projects are planned, prioritized based on that framework we talked about. It involves launching standardized templates for everything from project intake forms to risk scoring methodologies and approval workflows. This really streamlines the entire governance process and makes it repeatable and consistent. Building maturity also means actively training managers and employees across the board on AI literacy, helping them understand what AI can and cannot realistically do, and embedding the core governance principles. So it's not just a top-down mandate, but becomes a shared responsibility, part of the culture. And crucially, it means moving beyond just anecdotal success stories to actually tracking key performance indicators, or KPIs. These need to be directly tied to tangible business outcomes, things like demonstrable revenue generation, clear operational efficiency gains, or significant improvements in customer experience scores. You need to prove the value. Ultimately, this progression culminates in creating an internal AI knowledge hub, like you mentioned, a living repository of best practices, lessons learned, successful use cases, and establishing a regular reporting cadence. This ensures that AI adoption is continually growing, learning, and aligning with the company's overarching strategic goals. Okay, so to bring it all together then, AI is fundamentally transforming how organizations operate, no doubt about it, from generating compelling marketing content to automating incredibly complex back-office workflows. But as we've really explored today, without effective governance, without that guiding structure, even the best tools, the most exciting pilot projects, can quickly lead to confusion, wasteful redundancy, or, significant compliance risk. It really does sound like a bit of a Wild West out there for those without a map.
Exactly, it can be. A well-structured AI governance team bridges that absolutely crucial gap between that innovative vision, the exciting potential of AI, and the practical, responsible execution needed to realize it safely. It's truly about empowering teams to experiment with confidence, encouraging them to push the boundaries of what's possible with AI, while simultaneously protecting your people, streamlining your internal processes, and safeguarding your brand integrity. It's that balance. And just to reiterate, this isn't just for massive enterprises with unlimited resources, not at all. It's incredibly relevant for organizations of all sizes, including small or mid-sized companies. Even the implementation of basic frameworks that intake form, that central registry, can significantly reduce risk, improve transparency, and dramatically increase the success rates of your AI pilots and broader rollouts. It's also maybe worth quickly clarifying again that AI governance, while closely related, is distinct from data governance. Data governance primarily manages the information itself, its quality, accessibility, security, its lifecycle. AI governance, on the other hand, manages how that data is used by AI systems to make decisions, generate content, or automate workflows. It focuses more on the AI application layer. They are definitely complementary, you need both, but they are distinct areas of focus.
What a deep dive. You've given us so much to consider, really practical advice. As you, our listener, reflect on what we've discussed today, maybe consider this question.
How might establishing clear guidelines and assembling a diverse collaborative AI governance team, how might that not only mitigate those potential risks in your organization, but also unlock entirely new, ethical, and incredibly efficient ways of leveraging AI for growth you haven't even imagined yet? We certainly hope this deep dive has given you a clearer blueprint, some actionable steps for navigating the exciting, yet admittedly complex world of enterprise AI. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and stay well informed.